Have you thought about moving to Portland and you want to better understand all the 55 or older communities that exist in the Portland metro area? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down for you on a map tour the key 55 or older communities that exist in Portland. Now, there's not a lot of them, but there are ones that you should be aware of. Maybe you have heard of some of them, maybe you haven't, but we're going to get after it right now. I'm Ann Stewart, and if you're new to our channel, hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you can get all of our latest videos that we put out every week on Portland life. And specifically if you're following our series on 55 or older communities like this video. Also, if you're looking to get a hold of us, all of our information is in the description below. Reach out to us. We jump on Zoom calls all the time with new clients. People hit us up on phones, texts, emails, whatever methodology works for you works for us. We'd love to help you make a smooth move to Portland. As I mentioned in this video that I'm going to walk you through, I'm going to take you on a map tour of the Portland metro area and all the major 55 or older communities. Now, why am I doing this? Well, first of all, we have a large demand for people looking for 55 or older communities. And a lot of people just aren't aware of all the ones that are available, what they offer. And so we're doing a series on the different 55 or older communities. So if you're thinking about, making a move to Portland and you're looking for an active community, maybe you're looking for something on a golf course, or you're just looking for some, specific, this video and others we've done should help you navigate what you should be looking for. And again, if you have any questions about this process, reach out to us. Grab my number, give me a call. I'm happy to discuss with you further about these communities or any other questions you may have. All right, welcome to the map tour of the Portland metro area and the 55 or older communities that exist that we're going to point out today. Now, today we're going to focus on probably about 5 different 55 or older communities, and we're going to focus about 3 on the west side of town, 1 specifically on the east side of town, and then we're going to head south, and I'm going to show you one area you may not have ever heard of or even considered, but we do end up selling properties in this community a lot because it's affordable, it's main level living, it's a great little community just south, and I'll deliver what that information is towards the end of the video, so stick around to watch the whole thing. But we're gonna just go ahead and start with the west side of town because we've got 3 55 or older communities to talk about. The first one we're gonna talk about is right up in the Claremont community, which is kind of considered up in the northwest Portland area. And I'm just going to focus in on Claremont right now. If you haven't heard of Claremont, welcome to the introduction of Claremont. Where is Claremont located? Well, it is just north of Highway 26. And it's considered to be in kind of the Bethany location. If you haven't heard of Bethany, it's an exit you take off Highway 26, and it kind of leads you up into this area where you can kind of see there's Springville Road, there's West Union. It kind of goes out towards like 185th, which is like a major artery road, but it's a great little community, very sought after. But inside of Bethany is a community that's 55 or older called Claremont. And we've done a video on Claremont, so check that out. And Claremont is a community that was built back in the early 90s. The houses, it's probably one of the newer communities if you want to consider early 90s to be newer. We don't have, as I might have mentioned in other videos, a ton of 55 or older communities in the Portland area. We have none that have been built for probably several decades. But if you compare all the different 55 or older communities, you're going to find that Claremont's probably one of the newer-ish communities, and newer meaning early 1990s. The housing styles are very traditional and very classic. It does sit around a golf course. So there is a public golf course right here in the community, and it winds through all over here. As you can see, it's not a very big community, but a lot of people really love the Claremont area because it's so close to everything. And let me just point out a few things that might be interesting to know where it sits. So There's a area of shopping called Bethany Village, and it sits right up here. You can kind of see it in the yellow. I'm going to try and scroll in a little bit so you can kind of see what's up here. But Bethany Village has kind of all your major amenities right here. In my opinion, Starbucks. That's the most important thing. We need to find caffeine. So they have a Starbucks in here. They have a Walgreens. They have a QVC, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with QVC, but it's a beloved grocery store. It's like one of the main anchor stores up here. They've got a lot of restaurants and just a lot of different areas up here that you can, let me pull it down a little bit over here. Oops, pardon me. I'm trying to get the screen to cooperate. There we go. You can see the QVCs right there. That's an anchor store. There's dental places. I've actually had dental work up here in the Bethany area. They've got massage. And then right across the street from this is Bethany Athletic Club. So a lot of people like to know, where can I go to have my fitness? They have a pool at Bethany Athletic Club. It's a huge facility. A lot of people really love the Bethany Athletic Club. So it's kind of conveniently located if you choose to live inside of Claremont. Now, Claremont is fairly flat. So the nice part about living in that community is if you like to walk, you can walk all around there, no problem. They have sidewalks. It's really a lovely community. And like I said, a lot of these properties do butt up against the golf course. And when you walk around in that community, you see kind of, like the little golf course trails, where the carts kind of move around. So even if you don't like to golf, it really is a nice location. And like I said, the houses are built in the 90s. So they kind of have a really beautiful presence, high ceilings, nice floor plans. Most of the houses in there are going to be main level living. There are some 2 bedrooms. Of course, there's 3 bedrooms. Sizes vary. And let's talk about price points for a minute. Now, I have seen some over the last year, not many, in the high 600 range, but usually they're locationally challenged or they've been on the market for a while because of condition. So beware if you see something in the 6s, usually there's a reason for that. Maybe it sits on a busy road, maybe conditionally it has some issues, but the average sales price you're going to see in Claremont on average is in the high 7s and 800s. So you can see from one of our videos, some of the properties that are available. We take you on a tour to 3 different properties. Take a look at that video because it really does show you the inventory you can expect to get, but it definitely is not one of our cheaper options in the Portland area. In fact, it's probably on the highest side of options that exist, but it is a active community and it's just well worth considering if that's what you're looking for. So that is Claremont. Again, I'm going to scroll back out so you can kind of see on the map where that sits. And you can tell that it is in the west side of Portland. It's not too far from downtown Portland. You're probably looking at about 25 minutes, give or take. Some days it could be faster, but we have a lot of traffic that sometimes hits on Highway 26 and bottlenecks. It's close to the high tech area. So a lot of people like to move to Claremont to be closer to their families. We get a lot of requests to be closer to their kids if they're living and working out in kind of the Beaverton, Hillsboro, Northwest Portland area. So if you have any questions on Claremont specifically, reach out. Happy to help. On to the next 55 or older community. The next community I'm taking you to is called King City. And we've also done a video on King City specifically. So if you want more details or to see the types of properties that you can get in that 55 or older community, then hop on over to that video and take a look. But to give you some reference point, I've got the map up to show you that it is a suburb of Tigard. Technically, it shares the same zip code as a Tigard residences, which is 97224. It's located west of the I-5 freeway. And if I'm zooming in here, you're going to see that it's kind of nestled, like I said, in the Tigard community. And King City started back in the 60s. It was its own little city, and it was only known for a 55 or older community. And since then, it has expanded quite a bit. So I'm going to pull down the map here to show you a little bit more, kind of zoom in a little bit. But King City's right here. See where it says King City Public Golf Course. It also is a golf course community, and it's not a very big community, but a lot of the houses were built in the 60s. So if you're looking for affordability within the Portland metro area of a 55 or older community, this is probably your best bet because the prices in there, you can still get inventory in the 300 range. If you're okay with a condo, you can get it for less, but they have condos, they have townhomes. They have single family homes on very small lots, so you're not taking care of a big yard. And really what we always say about King City is it's a lot of the homes, since they were built in the 60s, not all of them have been renovated and remodeled to modern day standards. Most of the things that have been done are like roofs and systems of the homes, but you're going to see that a lot of the homes have the look and feel of 1960s, but they're great little ranches. So if you're not looking for a big house, you want something that's really easy to manage in a nice community that's 55 or older, then King City is your best bet. Now we're going to scoot over across the way to Summerfield, because right in the same zip code is another 55 or older community in the Tigard area. So I'm going to zoom out here. And if you go across the way, go across Highway 99, which is this big road right here that kind of divides the main street. You'll see another road leading off here called Durham. And then you see Summerfield Golf Course. This is a lovely golf course community as well, a bit bigger than King City. The homes were built in the 70s and 80s, so it's a little bit more updated in terms of what you get. And we also did a video on Summerfield, so go check that out so you can see what kind of inventory you get. You can check out the clubhouse on that video. It has a really lovely clubhouse. And when you go in there, it feels really warm and friendly. People greet you, and they have a ton of activities. Usually when you meet somebody at Summerfield, they tell you if you're not keeping busy enough, you're bored, you're not leaning into the activities, because they have so many activities to be a part of. In fact, when I was there last, they had an art show going on, and all the art that was supplied there came as a direct result of the residences. So that was really impressive to see so much really great art on the walls that they were showcasing coming from the residences. So one of many clubs and groups that you can be a part of. But you should really check out the video we did so you can see what what there is to offer in King City. But again, you're probably looking price point wise. You might be able to find a single family home in the 400s, but you're probably facing on average in the 500s in King City. And it depends on where it sits, just like in most golf course communities. If you're sitting on the golf course, you have a direct view of the golf course, you're going to pay more for that. Some have been heavily renovated, so you might pay, even more than that. But it is a little bit more expensive than King City. So if affordability is kind of something you're trying to focus on, King City is going to offer more for the money in a way. But Summerfield has more robust and bigger size homes. They even have some 2-story homes in there, but they do have mostly main level living. So that's usually what people are after, and just community. So, obviously when I say 55 or older, we kind of all joke a little bit because 55 is considered young nowadays. And so the average age in these two communities here are around 67. So if that's what you're looking for, then this might be the right community for you. And if you are curious and have questions specifically about Summerfield, reach out, give me a call. I'm happy to help. Now let's get to the next 55 or older community. So I've got the map up so you can kind of see where the next 55 or older community is placed. So we just got done talking about 3 different 55 or older communities on the west side of town, which is west of the Willamette River. Now we're going to the east side of the Willamette River, and I've got it up here in this red dot, and it's called Summerplace, not to be confused with Summerfield on the west side. Now, Summerplace, a lot of the properties were built from like 1979 up to 1992, so pretty large spread. They have over 800 homes in this community. And so if you need to be on the east side of town, it's one of the only options that exist. So if we kind of hone into Summerplace, I'm going to bring the map up here a little bit. You can see it's really close to the airport, and it is right off 84 and just east of 205. So it's kind of up there in that little northeast Portland borough, if you will. And it's pretty close to Glendiver Golf Course. So this is probably, if you're looking for a golf course community, this is not the community for you. This is more of just a 55 or older community that is, it's walkable, it's fairly flat, and it is close to a golf course, but it doesn't have a golf course inside the community like the other 3 I just talked about. But it is all about location for a lot of people. So when people want to live on the east side of town, maybe you're trying to be closer to the airport or friends and family, this is probably your best bet. And they have a lot of main level living properties within Summerplace. place and a lot of diversity in the type of housing. But again, it's a great option on the east side. So you're probably looking at property values in the 4s, 5, and 500 range. So not totally out of affordability, not the most expensive either, but when you're on the east side, it's definitely a possibility for you to consider this. And mostly people choose that because they're looking for a location closer to friends, family, and like I'd mentioned, the airport. Now on to the next 55 or older community. The next community I want to talk to you about is actually not a 55 or older designated community. I know what you're thinking. You're like, why would we talk about it on this video? Because the average age demographic in this community is definitely over 55 years of age. And it feels like a 55 or older community. And a lot of people consider it to be a 55 or older community because of those demographics. And it's the community of Charbonneau. If you haven't heard of Charbonneau, the location is just south of Portland and Wilsonville. It does share the same zip code as Wilsonville. And when you kind of look at it, it sits just south of the Willamette River. And it's before you go further south on I-5 as you're heading towards Salem. So if you're okay locationally to be much further south of Portland, then this might be an option for you. We tend to see that a lot of people really like this community because it too is a golf course community, and it's a fairly big planned community. A lot of these homes were built back in the 70s and 80s. You can get homes as high as $1 million or more in the Charbonneau area, depending on the size. There are definitely 2-story homes in this community because it is not a 55 or older community where they had to focus only on main level living, but there is a ton of main level living in this community right here on Charbonneau. It's a beautiful community to stroll through. They've got tree-lined streets. The streets are really wide. They've got a variation of condos, attached housing, and single-family homes. And I really think the word to use about Charbonneau is pretty. It's just really pretty to drive through Charbonneau. It feels very community oriented. They actually have a little area in there. Oh, this is one of my favorite bakeries ever. So if you're in the Charbonneau area, stop and get a pastry and some coffee or tea at the Le Sucre bakery. It really makes that little location. They do have a little kind of retail area within this area right across from the Charbonneau golf course. My son golfs at the Charbonneau golf course quite a bit because that's where he trains from time to time, but it really is a beautiful community that offers a lot of diversity in housing. So you don't have to buy a single family home if you're not looking to take care of a single family home. There's a lot of attached housings and townhomes and condo options, but I highly recommend a lot of people when they're looking for communities like a 55 or older, this acts just like a 55 or older community. So do not rule this one out. It is definitely an option and you wouldn't be disappointed by it other than if it's, if your price point doesn't allow you to. So if you have questions about Charbonneau or want to get a list of properties in this community, hit me up. I'm happy to send them over. Since you stuck around to the end, I'm going to give you what I think a lot of people don't know about as far as a 55 or older community. And I'm going to tell you why. So it's Woodburn Senior Estates. And now you're like, well, Ann, this isn't even in Portland. Well, it's not in the Portland metro area. It's technically further south than Portland, on the freeway on I-5. Let me pull back the map so you can get a sense of things. Now, a lot of people think Woodburn is just too far out or they haven't considered this, but it's not that far away because it's pretty close to the freeway. So if you look at this map, it's down I-5, it's right off the freeway. It's probably going to take you another 20 minutes from, say, Wilsonville down to the Woodburn Senior Estates. But let me tell you why I bring this up. Number one, and the most important thing, is that Woodburn Senior Estates is affordable. You can get a lot more for your money. So when we have people that really need to watch a budget, and I mean like they're looking in the $300,000 range for a single family home, you can find that in Woodburn Senior Estates. They are built back in the 60s. They have a golf course, as you can see from the picture. And we have sold a lot of our seniors houses in this community and they love it. It's a very tight-knit community. It's clean, it's well managed. People just love it. And it's, again, we're going back to affordability. So if you're really trying to stick to a budget, this is one of the best bangs for your bucks. And I have a couple of clients in there that I tend to let people know if they want to talk to somebody who's bought in that community and what it's like. I hook them up so they can chat about that. But it really is a fantastic option. And again, I'm talking budget here. So if location's the most important thing, maybe this isn't the right fit for you. But when you're looking for your dollar to stretch you and you want to be in an affordable community, this is as good as it gets. And I approve. Like, I love this community. Now, I'm going to bring up another community in the area of this Woodburn area, since we're already kind of looking around, and that is Tukwila. So another, in fact, let me type it in here. Tukwila. Tukwila is another community. It is not a 55 or older community. Let me stress that. It is not. You do not have to be 55 or older to live in it. But again, very similar to Charbonneau, it is, it draws in a lot of 55 or older crowd, and it feels and acts like a 55 or older. It's also on a golf course. These homes were built back in the early 2000s. So it's one of the more newer, if you will. It's not that new anymore to have, early 2000s, but the homes in the Tukwila golf course community are built by really solid builders, and they did a beautiful job with this community. I remember when it was first being built out, and I used to know the owner or the manager of the golf course that they put in. But it's a great community to consider because the houses, like I said, they're newer, they're a little more robust, but the price points are going to be up there. You're probably looking at 500s, 600s. There are a few higher than that, but it's really just a gorgeous community to consider if you're looking for something like this. And I think a lot of it comes down to, for people when they're looking, is how does it feel? What location do they need to be in? And ultimately price, how much do you want to spend? So those are the key 55 or older communities throughout the Portland metro area. And of course, I took you south and a little bit out, just so you could keep your mind open to the possibilities. And again, if you have any questions about these communities, or you want to discover more about the type of housing you can get, and any questions you have, please reach out. We get calls, emails, texts all the time from people trying to make the move out here to be closer to family or friends, and trying to figure out what is the best option for them. And we love what we do. So we'd love the opportunity to help you with any questions you might have. All of our information is in the description below. So reach out to us, and we'll see you on the next video.